So an update on the biodiesel production unit. It worked great. I took that sock off again from the last video. If you guys didn't see that, give it a look, and a like and a share possibly. It did work great after I took off the sock filter. There was much less resistance on the inlet strainer that goes into the system. It did flow within seconds like I thought. As you can see from the other video, there was a lot of sludge on the sock, and that was causing the resistance. I might still make, again, some strainer in line along here to take care of the sludge. The sludge is the biggest problem that you want to get out. And on that note, I'm salvaging today the settling tower that I made, which was originally designed to take the bottom collection port here and resettle it. So I had to cut off a little piece of it, that much right there, so that it'll fit inside of my 55-gallon drum settling tank, I guess, if you will. It's a metal drum. You can use plastic if you want to, and that might actually be better. The goal of that tank is to fill from the bottom, and make a little trap. Again, always with the sludge traps, you want to trap as much sludge as you can before it gets in your unit, because your unit, if it's mixed in solution, is not going to catch it all, and it will end up in your vehicle. Again, you can use like seafoam or something to clean that stuff out of your vehicle, but you don't want it gumming up your injectors. You don't want it gumming up your filter. If you gum up your filter, you're gonna be running super lean, and you might blow a head gasket or something, and you don't want that. So this is what it's going to do. I'm going to leave this top open. It's going to look just like this. I cut this little piece off. It's right there. I cut that little piece off. And I installed the test plug in the bottom there. So that's capped off. So when I fill it now, imagine it's inside the barrel. When I fill it into this tube, I don't want to fill it in the rest of the barrel because it's going to put the heavy, dirty particulates into the good oil that I'm going to be collecting from. So I'm going to put all of the new oil in there. It's going to flow down, and equalize with the level inside the tank. But all of the oil is going to be forced to sit in here longer and settle out. Some of the big particulates as it flows are just going to drop out and sit right there. And that's one of the reasons I chose to reuse one of the test plugs, because when I notice it's not really working that great when it keeps flowing up too far before it goes through, I know that it's plugged up to this hole, so I can pull it out, drain it out, and open up the test plug, clean out the sludge, and then reuse it again. This isn't the most ideal setup. I have some other PVC creation inventions that'll work much better. It actually upflow filters it twice. Upflow settles it twice, but this is sufficient for what I'm doing. I already paid for it, and I'm going to use it again. Again, I said, recycle, reuse. I'm not going to waste this material because it does cost a lot of money. So, again, I'm going to put that in the barrel, fill in the top there, and it's going to spill over. Hopefully collecting some stuff down here, the heavy, heavy stuff. And then as it spills out here, your lighter oils will separate and flow to the top, and your heavier oils will stay where they're at and sink down. So that is the idea behind upflow settling. It's very important in this. So this is my drum that I told you about. Excuse the mess over here and all this. That's the boat I'm restoring. I'll eventually make a whole video series on that and how that whole thing works. So the mess there, some cans I've collected from crushing, I'm going to use those, melt them down, maybe make some parts for this, if I ever get that figured out. And that's what the propane tank is for. Okay, so this is the drum, that's the lid. Okay, so here's the tower. It's put in there. The little spout goes over there, it's underneath. So as I fill this up, I'm going to dump everything down the chute. And it's going to do everything that I just said that it's going to do, and put all the heavy, dirty, gross oil that pops out over there, collect some sludge in there. It looks gross, it looks dirty, but that's fine. You're not really worried at this point. It hasn't gone through filtration. You're just trying to get, the best quality oil as you go that is easy. You don't want to make it too hard. Usually if you make it too hard, it's going to be over-engineered and difficult. And then you're going to end up having to re-engineer it to make it more efficient, and it's going to cost you more money. So this is the best drum that I could find. I got it for free. My buddy, he bought a house, and it was in the backyard filled with beer bottles and cans and all kinds of gross garbage. So I took it off his hands, emptied that stuff into my garbage can, cleaned it out the best I could with a pressure washer, and this is the result. It's fine. The oil should actually prevent the rusting, so it should last pretty long. If it starts draining, I'll do the best thing that I can, empty it out, make a batch of oil, put it in the truck, and, get another drum. I'll kind of be shut down for a while, but I can, if I want to, mix in my unit. I'll just have to settle it longer. But this is good. So as I get, like, cooking oil and stuff from people or motor oil, whatever, I can, gradually take off the lid, fill it up 1 gallon at a time, and by the time that it reaches the top, I know, it's time to make another batch and put it in the truck. So it's fantastic. It's a long-term settling storage tank that I don't have to worry about getting really dirty. All the sludge is going to settle on the bottom. I'm not really worried about that because I'm not, filtering out of here and putting that stuff right in my truck. This is okay. If it fills all the way to the top, with the sludge and the gross material, I'll just get another drum. I'll figure out how to get rid of this. And possibly I could put it underneath of a fire and seal up the top and do pyrolysis, and then I'll have, homemade distilled diesel. And I'll save that for another video. But that's how this works. Some considerations, you want to make sure your top is sealed all the way around the top. And so like right here, the issue that I would be worried about is there's no gutters, and the rain definitely comes down and drops on top of here. So I want to make sure that's on, especially when it's draining. If it does fill with water like that, all the water will settle to the bottom. As we all know, oil floats on top of water. It might actually clean it up a little bit. But, eventually, if this fills up with water, the oil is going to dump over the top. So that's why you want a good top. You don't necessarily have to have it sealed, but it has to be, drip proof. So that's it for this point. One last thing for this video. You can see this floor was covered in oil. I mean, there's new spots that I just did today. Might be. But how I took care of this was sawdust that I saved from my carpentry projects. This is the bucket that I used. I made a little cyclone separator. Basically, the heavy particulates fall out and just the air goes beyond it. And sometimes, like the lighter stuff will still go into your vacuum, your shop vac that you're using for dust removal, which is important. And I'll get to that in some carpentry videos that I'm going to do. And, for now, this works. I'm going to upgrade that little system there and put that bucket to use for something else probably. But that's a good idea. It gets you some sawdust in there and heavier bits that you vacuum up. So I use that on this area, and you can see, due to capillary action, okay, very scientific term, it soaked up all of the oil, and I just sweeped it up with a broom, threw it in the trash can, and that's probably what I'm going to do for these new spots. It's much better than having to sit here with a bunch of soap and scrubbing it and making your scrubber dirty and gross, and then you have to throw that away. That's a waste of money. Nobody likes that. So that's the last point for this video. Don't underestimate the power of wood to soak up oil. It's fantastic. I'm going to do way more videos that shows you all of the other uses of the wood chips and sawdust and the pellets. They are fantastic. You should definitely have them in your arsenal in your DIY projects and on your homestead or whatever else you're doing. They're a fantastic tool to have. That's the last point for this video. I hope you guys have an outstanding day. I'm out.